Yeah, I want to welcome you again to this live broadcast. Today, being Thursday, the 26th of October 2023. We have 5 days to the end of this month. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in the confines of the DSS in the contraption called Nigeria. And yet we are still playing, still misbehaving, still misleading and misdirecting. I want to welcome you anyways before we go straight into the broadcast. Thank you for joining. Wherever you're joining from, please like the video immediately you join and then share on all your social media platforms, because today we shall be discussing very critical things, very crucial and important to us and, basically to our fight for freedom. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. This is BIAFRA Global Network, the platform where the truth is the only narrative that drives us. The truth being the only thing that we stand for, or that makes us continue to do what we're doing. Truth, fundamental. Truth is what is keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu where he is. And truth is the reason why for 2 years, 4 months plus, he's still in the confines of the DSS of Nigeria. And truth is the reason why he will be out. And truth is the reason why he will lead us, according to what he has said, to freedom. I have seen a particular narrative from, one of those who are capitalizing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation to defraud Biafrans, saying that he will lead Biafrans into freedom. Well, Chukwu has said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will lead us into freedom. So it is very interesting that our people don't really pay attention to the words of people, and at the same time cannot really investigate matters, looking critically into issues and facts. You just look at things on surface value, and then you just weigh them based on the surface understanding you have about them. You don't look at them deep critically also. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he's going to lead us into freedom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he will lead us. He will be in the zoo and he will lead us into freedom. And yet an impostor, someone claiming to be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's disciple and wanting to take the place of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, doing everything to take his place, which he cannot, telling us that he is the one who is going to lead Biafra into freedom. We can't serve two masters. Two gods cannot be talking at the same time to a people. So we must understand who is the true God. Unless if we say Chukwu didn't really speak to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Unless if we say so. Thank you for joining. Now I'm going to play a particular video because I think it's very important for me to be playing this video of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in every broadcast. As soon as we begin, I'm going to play it so that it will form the basis and as a reminder to those who are betraying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu over and over based on what their sentiments and their misdirected narratives. Now let's go straight to the video. I want you to listen to this.
I know the game they're playing. There was this stupid video that is in circulation. They can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army, which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you are involved in that video, take a walk. You want to give Fulani Janja with the reason to invade our land. That's what you're doing. But we shall get to that later. Anybody involved in the circulation of that video is a gunner. I'm telling you the truth. And those that made it. That is how people behave because they don't understand the game plan of the Fulani. People are very foolish. Fulani will come to you and want to use you and you succumb because you have greed, envy, and jealousy inside you. When again is Biafran army, I'm asking you. From where? How many people? The day I will bring out the Biafran army, we number over 200,000 standing. Reserve is over 1 million. Over 200,000 standing. Reserve is over 1 million. The day I will bring out the Biafran army, we number over 200,000 standing. Reserve is over 1 million. Inside you. Which one again is Biafran army? I'm asking you. From where? How many people? Which one again is Biafran army? I'm asking you. From where? How many people? The day I will bring out the Biafran army, we over 200,000 standing. Reserve 1 million. Idiot somewhere because you're serving your Fulani Janjaweed masters. We'll get hold of all of you. We know they're bad eggs when we see them. That the courage today that you have in Yoruba land because of ESN, the courage of Amoteku to say no to Fulani is because of ESN. Because of Eastern Security Network. That is why they found the courage to say no to Fulani. After all these years, without the coming, or should I say all these months, without the coming of ESN, has Amoteku said we are going to flush out Fulani headsmen from our bushes? Never. It's because they saw us, they have seen us doing it. They said, oh, we might as well do the same thing as well. In order to it's called the pincer movement, to cut us off. They got some people, I don't know whether maybe in Olu or whatever, got them together, gave them, say we are Biafran army, a few idiots. They are shooting gun, we are Biafran army. Inside somewhere. Did we tell you that we have formed the Biafran army? We said when we form it, the world will know that we have come. I don't hide anything. So it's all the handiwork of DSS. Mad people every idiots everywhere. Africans and lack of discipline. You don't have discipline. You don't have discipline. That was why the white man came and conquered you, because you lack discipline. After the white man must have finished with you, Fulani came from the Gambia. Because you have no brain. Lack of discipline. Every idiot thinks they can lead. They don't know what leadership entails. Every monkey thinks, oh, maybe if we have it. Nobody is funding IPOB ESN. It's only IPOB that's funding it worldwide. If you think you can bring 2 or 3 people together with a few rifles, and because of that you can start calling for funds, you are wasting your time. You don't know our people. They won't give you a dime. Fulani is making use of your brain. You cannot say it. They come to you, oh, why don't you fight?
Yeah, I want to welcome you back the broadcast. Every statement made by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, sorry, I'm sweating, is clear. I would not, along the line, anyways, I might be picking them one after the other and then saying some things about them. Now, I want to first, on Facebook today, yesterday, I was telling some people that, some people were very optimistic about what is going to happen in Nigeria, that the Supreme Court was going to give them their legitimate, in quotes, legitimate right. That the Supreme Court is going to actually respond to them. And I posted it on Facebook also, and I said, how can you endorse illegality after today's stuff, that what the Supreme Court did today, after giving them, what they should have according to the formation of Nigeria? Because what they should have is illegality. In fact, anytime Nigeria gives you legality, it's a privilege, because Nigeria is not supposed to give you legality. Nigeria is designed to give you criminality. So whenever you see Nigeria show a gesture of humanity or rule of law, just know that you have received a privilege, because in an entity called Nigeria, it is actually Ego, good to see you. Thank you so much. Chupu, okay, strengthen you. I say, set your prayers. Whenever you see, such, happen, when let's say you go to court and then you are given, maybe what you want. It is a gesture of kindness. You don't deserve it. You got it because they showed you grace. In quote, Nigeria is an edifice, an epitome of evil. That is what it is created for. That is what it is designed for. So I don't know why people were expecting so much from the Supreme Court. Just like in good things, you have structures that help good also flourish. In evil also, you have structures that help evil flourish. So in a good or in a democratic system that's working, the Supreme Court would always do the right thing. In a system that is corrupt, the Supreme Court is also a sign of evil, and everything about Nigeria is evil. So that's you see that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in the dungeon of the Nigeria contraption, because Nigeria is a system that is not expected to do good or carry out justice. All these shenanigans of Tinubu's certificate, he submitted one here, he submitted the other there. What he submitted initially was different from nonsense. You are wasting your time. We keep telling you guys, Nigeria is not a nation. But you guys say, no, Nigeria must be my nation. I don't care. God has given us Nigeria, and we must defend it. Keep defending Nigeria. Keep defending Nigeria until Fulani comes and cuts off the head of 2 of your family members, or 3, or even your own head. Then you will now begin to say, no, we can't, Nigeria, please, let's divide. We can't continue this kind of thing. No, keep defending Nigeria. Now you see the argument of the court. Supreme Court, not even an appeal court or something, Supreme Court. So all Nigerians enjoy what you labored for. Because when you when you got yourself, into, the issue of voting, you actually endorsed criminality for another 4 years. And it is so painful and unfortunate that the one who claimed that he's ready and has gotten everything ready for the courts, for there to be no election in Biafra land, messed the whole thing, misled everyone, deceived everyone, took the resources of the people, deceived them, and made them to be part of this nonsense that is going on in Nigeria. So now we are now part of the whole nonsense, because someone deceived and misled the people. We had to keep supporting to the last. And when we saw that it's not true, we have to now begin to speak the truth. So whatever happened, in claiming and all the shoutings we made on social media that there will be no election in Biafra land was thwarted by someone whom we thought was using the Biafra to execute that. So that really brought us to the situation that we are in. I want to welcome you guys to this live broadcast. Now, some videos have been trending for the past few days on social media from the autopilot group. Let me call. I've told you that we have two things about autopilot. We have autopilot as a function, and we have autopilot as a group. And some funny videos trending everywhere. Now, you guys have listened to this message I played about Mazi and Kanu, and you know what he said about the army. And funny enough, one of the videos today that came today was talking about Mazi and Kanu said there's going to be an army, and then the army will do this and do that. And so this is the army now we have started. Mazi and Kanu is not a mediocre. He told you that when he wants to bring an army out, he's going to bring it marvelously. And it's going to be, when it comes, the world will know that something is out. Not a militia group. He talked about an army. An army is different from a security outfit. Now, a security outfit that was brought, ESN was brought, and the world knew that something was out. Now, you can imagine what would have happened when Mazi Nnamdi brings out the army. And Mazi Nnamdi said he would bring out the army. When the time comes to bring out the army, the world will know. That means he would play the major role and he would lead as the commander-in-chief to bring out the army. That's what he was saying. Now I'm going to play this again side by side with, the broadcast today, and I'll be on screen and I'll be playing it. Now listen. Now, the reason why the issue of army is sensitive to any group of people is because the army is fundamentally designed to secure territory, which means that when you have an army, the army works to secure your territorial integrity according to how it's defined. Territorial integrity, the clause, the phrase territorial integrity. So when you hear territorial integrity, you're talking about the defined location where you are located, or the defined, the clear-cut definition, or the defined location of your territory. So that integrity is the size and that particular space you occupy, not integrity in the sense of operations, but integrity in the sense of location. That's so it's unless you don't want to define it some other ways, but that's the truth. Territorial integrity has to do with your location and the actual size of your location. That means staying put to that and all of that. The reason why an army is very crucial to that is because the army is meant to secure that territorial integrity. And the reason why Mazi Nnamdi, of course, as a learned person, understood the implication of having an army and was talking tough here and so angry and cross with those people, very, very cross with the people who came out to display some stuff and saying they are Biafra army. Because it's not a childish game. It's not a game for children. It's not a game where you just display anything and you just come up and show anything and then you call that an army. He knows that he's learned. He understands the implication of an army. And two, he understands the implication of an army in the minds of the international community, or in the mind of the international community. And when you have an army, then you know that you have you have a design of what you need to do about your territory and all of that. And so Mazi Nnamdi had to address this matter, and he called out this also, as at that time when he was around, I think close to the time he was extraordinarily renditioned and kidnapped. That was when he was making his broadcast. That means I think between April and June 2021. And Mazi Nnamdi had to address this issue of the army. And he said, of course, you know that when you have an army, you're already telling us that you have a territory you're controlling. That's what it means. So Mazi Nnamdi was saying that the reason why that army is funded by Nigeria is because they are playing the Nigeria game. They all needed to give Nigeria a reason to attack the people. And this is what we have been seeing today in Biafra land. Now, you see, it's so disheartening. That is why most times I always want to refer to Simon. I don't preach people. I don't come to broadcast people. I have content so much. I know what to say at every point in time and how to teach. Teach about, our freedom, teach people to understand what we need to do, talk about what we need to do, and talk you into understanding all we need to do, and I'll see how we can come together to do what we have to do. But when we have people defrauding the people, defrauding the Biafrans, misleading them, misdirecting them, and all of that, I need to talk about it, because as watchers, to guard the truth, you must expose the lies. You can't talk about securing truth and without exposing lies, because lies is fundamentally, or lies negates truth. So if you have to speak truth, you would always expose lies, which means you must showcase lies. You must make the things that are lies to be real. To be visible to the people, so that they can see what it is and identify it whenever they see it. And in this context, we always do this in line with what Mazi and Kanu have said. And to this effect, I am always going to play this Mazi and Kanu's video based on the issue of army that most of our people are being misled today to believe in. Because you can talk about an army without looking at the fundamentals of formation. And the truth here is, Mazi and Kanu critically told us, and you're going to hear it as I play this video again. You're going to hear Mazi and Kanu say it's there. When I will bring up the army, when we shall, when I will. Mazi and Kanu made it categorically clear that he will front the release of the army. He will front the launching of the army. And when it will be launched, it will not be child's play. It will be a massive thing, and it will, at that point of being launched, carry out a serious and technical control of the territory of Biafra, even if, or no matter what happens. So when you look at this stuff, thank you so much, Ego. I'll keep doing that. Yes, I'll keep doing that. And that's what I will stand for. And of course, we will keep standing for. Now, when Mazi Kanu was saying this, he was saying it because, of course, he was saying it as of that time this issue happened. And at the same time, he was also saying it as prophetic based on what will happen after that. He didn't know that this time will come. But of course, when a prophet speaks, he speaks defining the moment, and at the same time expressing the future. So Mazi Kanu, God was going to take him away, and for a while, and then people are going to now come into reality about what he has said, and the things that will happen will help people to begin to dig out what he has said initially, those who are truly his followers. And that's why I really appreciate those who put these videos together, those who are extracting videos of what Mazi Kanu have said in relation to what is happening. Now, in the context of this military thing, because this military thing is what is reigning now, army thing is what is reigning now, that is why I have to keep playing this particular voice of Mazi Kanu, giving credit to those who actually brought it out. I know that a name is showing on the video, but that's not my concern. My concern is the message of Mazi Kanu, that is there. Now, Mazi Kanu said critically that when he will launch that army, it's going to be massive. And, he spoke prophetically of the future, in spite of the fact that he was addressing the situation of that time when people started, or when a group of people came up with the issue of an army, and Mazi Kanu had to addressing it for that time and for the future. So when we come to this times like this, we now go back to what he said initially, and we can settle each of what he has said, or the things happening by what he has said, so that we can be on the right track and on the right path. For instance, when Christ came, he was speaking to power. He was speaking to the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Sanhedrins, and those in power at that time. He was speaking about their criminality, about their evils and all of that. He was addressing their issues and all of that. In the book of Revelation chapter 1 and chapter 2, when Christ gave a revelation, or revealed himself, yes, and the word and things to come to John, the beloved, who was in Patmos then as a prisoner. Patmos, that jail at Patmos was the lowest jail for common people, and it was a very deadly place where, after John had been thrown into a bowl of boiling oil and he couldn't die. He didn't die. He still was alive, and they had to bring him out. They had to take him to the island of Patmos, and he was there and he received the revelation. When Jesus was revealing to him the candlesticks, the 7 candlesticks, and all of that, and was speaking about the churches in Revelation chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 1, Jesus revealed himself and told him whom he is, and revealed himself in relation to Yahweh, and make him understand that he is actually Yahweh, the one who is, who was, who is, and is to come. And he now told him to write of the things that he has seen. That means the revelation he has given to him about his person. Then the things that are, which is talking about the church, which was revealed in Revelation chapter 2, chapter 3, and the things that will be hereafter. That means from chapter 4 to chapter 22. So now what happened was this: Jesus was actually referring to the church in Asia Minor, which is in Turkey, today's Turkey, and all of that. And Jesus was talking about the behavior of that church and all of that. But the truth here is that analogy of Christ as at that time was also prophetic of the church of today. So that is why you see that in relation to what Christ said about the church in Patmos, in Asia Minor, that is Turkey of today, and all of that, it is also related to the churches of today. That is why most of the things that were talked about those churches then, the church of Ephesus, Laodicea, and all those places, are referring to the church of today. So that is the same thing. God gave Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu those words to talk about what would happen when the Biafra army comes, and to give prophetically the words of the Biafra army in relation to the matter as at that time, those who brought a particular narrative out, brought a particular group out, and using it as a means of bringing the Zoo military into our land to kill the people. And so Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu was able to prophetically speak about when the army will be released, and who will release the army, and who will be in forefront, and revealing to us that he will be in forefront, and he will lead that, he will lead that narrative of that thing. So it is prophetic here. At the same time, it is correctional, and it is also very educative and informative. If you don't know how to relate the words of the people you follow, the words of the people you claim to be their disciples, in relation to what is happening to you right now, just like Christians should relate the words of Christ in relation to what is happening to their lives now, the people of Biafra should relate the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in relation to what is happening right now. So when anything now happening, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not around, just like Christ is not around now, available, he's ascended to heaven, and Christians could relate his words because you connect with him through his words. Christ is not here physically, but Christians connect to Christ through his words. The Muhammad is not here now, but they connect with Muhammad through his words. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not here now in the DSS dungeon, and he's there for a while and will soon be coming out. And we are put in the test period where we have to connect with him through his words. If we believe that his words are from Chukwokike, then we must understand the truth and the narrative it conveys in the present time. So when something happens, you weigh it in the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you say, is this the words that have come to us regarding Biafra? Is it in line with what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has told us about Biafra? That is how it is done. That is how intelligent people understand. You look at historical facts and activities of history and how things are done to manage and regulate the current time, or regulate the present. To regulate the present, you need to get connected with the words of the line you are towing in the present time. You understand? So now let's look at it critically. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said in this video, and I want you to listen. Now listen, the day I will, prophetically, he is speaking about when he will, which means that the responsibility of bringing Biafra army into the fore, or to bring it out or launch it, is on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The onus is on him. The responsibility is on him to launch that. How come someone who claims to be his disciple cannot respect that? That is what you should be asking yourself. That is what you should be saying for yourself. How come someone who is claiming, it's just like I claim to be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's disciple, and I know he's the commander-in-chief, and he has said, the day I will, and then he now gets into trouble. He's still alive. We are expecting him, believing he's going to come out. And then I now decide to rush into his office or his place. I begin to rush into taking his place to launch what is bigger than me. The Biafra army is not for anybody to launch. It is for the commander-in-chief. And as long as he is alive, he is the one who will launch the Biafra army. He said, the day I will, because he understands his role as the commander-in-chief. It is his role, his responsibility as the leader of Biafra to launch the army. Simple, common sense. You don't need a prophet. You don't need your emotion you just have to tell yourself the factual truth. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Now, by the time I finish playing this video, I'm going to play some other videos, and you are going to see the foolishness of these people who claim to have released their own army. You're going to see it, because by the time I bring it out and all of that, you're going to see it, and then when you see it, you will be able to understand what it means, because these things have to be understood in context so that we would know what we are doing. If you don't have a particular narrative or a direction on what you're supposed to do, you would find yourself making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You must understand this. He said, the day I will, the day I will. That is what he said, which means that he is the one who is. When Christ said, when Jesus said, or when Christ said, or when Yahushua said that he will come again and receive his people unto himself, he was talking about himself as the one who is responsible for that action, which means that it is not your pastor who will take you to himself. It is no other person who will do anything to himself. Every other person who runs along the line, calling themselves pastors, bishops, prophets, and all of that, should preach the coming of the Christ, who will bring the people to himself. But just like what we saw in is it in Kenya or so, where about how many people, over 200 something people were killed because the pastor said that he wants to take them to heaven. He wants them to go to heaven. And they started killing themselves. Some of them were starving themselves to death. Some of them were being beaten and tortured to death. Some of them, lots of things. Now, that is the pastor now usurping, now taking it to mean, telling the people now that he is the Christ. He is the one who now decides how they are going to go to heaven. Whereas Christ said he will come and take his people with him. So which means that even if he's not here, death comes, you succumb to death because it's a natural cause. But if death has not come, you wait patiently if he will come, as he has said. And if he doesn't come, as he has said, as at that time, your time comes to leave the earth, you leave the earth. Nobody has the right to cut shots, secure your life in the guise of taking you to heaven. It's common sense. So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that he will lead the army and the number is this, he was speaking prophetically of what the nation of Biafra represents and the strength of the people. You can't call a nation and not speak of the nation's strength in relation to what you are doing, which means that whenever you want to express the power of your nation or the power of what you stand on to proclaim what you're proclaiming, it will show in the actions and the things that are projected about that nation. For instance, when God told Elijah, when Elijah said to, Gehazi, his servant, in the book of 1 Kings, and said to him that he doesn't know the people, he that is with them is greater than he that is with those people. And then he prayed that God should open Gehazi's eyes to see the people with them. And when Gehazi's eyes were opened, he saw a host and he was marveled. Now, the reason for that sign or that evidence is to prove the power behind. Now, if we would talk about the Biafra army, then it simply means that if we have the strength to project a security outfit as ESM, as mighty as it is, and show the world how strong that we can be in just projecting a security outfit, it simply means that when we are going to project the army, it will be something else. Because it would be a cynosure of our strength and a representation of how sophisticated we are. We can't just showcase anything. So what we have seen now is anything. It is less of a standard. It does not even meet the level of ESN, not to talk about the army. And the person fronting it is not the right person, because the person who's supposed to front it is Mazi Nnamdi. And he said it, that the day he will, and I'm going to play it again so that you can hear that part again when he said, the day I will. Listen. The day I will bring out the Biafra army. Now, ask yourself the question: do you believe in Mazi Nnamdi? Do you believe in him, or you are just someone who is just being very, very stupid and always wanting to do things based on your stupidity and you just want to spy? Is it because he is in the dungeon right now, and so you want to insult him, mess him up, and disregard his words, and think that you can now begin to embrace falsehood and work against his words? He said he will, the day I will. He didn't mince his words. He didn't mince words. He said, the day I will. That's what he said. And that's what he said. Now listen, go on. That's right. It is simple. You know the bad eggs based on the fact that they always want to, take, you know, um, take, opportunities that for their selfish ends and all of that. That means they always want to, cash into situations for their selfish ends and all of that. You know the bad eggs when they want to take advantage of situations. When people take advantage of situations, they look at it and feel that, this is an opportunity for me to come, for me to gain. That's what they do. So listen, Daniel, any further countering what I'm speaking about here, I will block you. So don't preach to me. Don't tell me who is following Simon and who is not following Simon. That's not my business. I'm here to preach the truth, and that's what I've come to do. So don't tell me who the people are shifting to Simon. I don't need all those your nonsense. So if I see any message like that again, I'll block you from commenting. I'm not here to patronize lies. I am upright. It's not a boast, but I stand on the truth. If Mazi Nnamdi comes today and says, he can't even say it, because everything I'm saying is according to his words. So I am preaching the truth the way it is, and I'm standing on the truth the way it is. So don't come and don't begin to tell me that this one is trying, or that one is trying, or this is zombies are following. No, I don't need all those stuff. I am preaching the truth. Those who will hear. Those who don't want to hear, those who don't want to hear would be judged by what I'm saying. That's what I've come to do. So this time around, it's for serious business. It's not for all these games that you people like playing. I'm not interested in all of your games. I'm here for the truth, and that's what I stand for. So if you don't want to listen to the truth, you can quietly walk away when people can come on and they will listen to the truth. That is what I stand for. I don't deceive myself. Mazi Nnamdi said it's clear words here. He said it's clear. He said he will. So what is the issue of then I've been to, that is why you people don't, that is why Biafrans are still the way they are. Because we always take things for granted. We always take things for granted. You say you believe in Mazi Nnamdi. You say you believe God called him. You say you believe in him. You say you are his follower. And everything you are saying, you are working against it. And you can see it clearly. And yet, you still want to paint white red and white milk color. Maybe look at, you don't, just like the t-shirt I'm putting on now, it's not pure white, it's milk. You want to still say that it's still the same now. Milk and white is still the same thing. I'm not here to glorify anybody. I'm here to speak the truth. That is what I came for. And that is what I'm sent to do in this whole thing. So if you want to listen, you listen to the truth. If you don't want to listen to the truth, you just quietly leave. Don't be putting unnecessary comments here. Don't be not putting unnecessary. I'm wiser than that approach that tactics you are playing. Don't come here and promote Simon. If you want to promote him, go to his platform. Give him everything you need to promote him. Promote him there. Give him all the promotions and make his head blow. Not on this platform. To me, Simon is out of the equation. He is working against Mazi Nnamdi. As simple as that. He doesn't have any local standing to raise an army unless he says he's building his own team. But as long as he is claiming to be under Mazi Nnamdi, then we will keep preaching against it because it is against Mazi Nnamdi. He can't be under Mazi Nnamdi and raise an army. No, it is not his responsibility. It is not his work. Mazi Nnamdi is the one, and he said it here clearly that the day he will. So allow him to come out, unless you are telling us that you want him to die. If you know he's going to come out, allow him to come out and take that responsibility as his role tells, or as his role entails. Don't do what he's supposed to do when he's still alive. Don't tell us because where he is, he cannot do it. No, leave him to come out. Work with the one he has already created, ESN. Work it, build it well. Bring everybody together. That is the one he has created. So and let those ones do some work. But if you destroy that one and build your own army, then you are a criminal. It's as simple as that. So let's listen. And that is what you are saying now. Busy constituting nuisance in the bush. Now I'm going to show you some of their videos where they look at, if I want to capture an event, if I want to capture a thing with my camera, for God's sake, I position my camera very well. Phone camera can capture very well. Position it well to show you what I want to show you. I don't show you the ground and tell you and put and let me tell you, if you engage in a battle, do the whole bullets stay on one part of the ground and you capture them at that place, the whole bullet, and then the same place where those whole bullets are, those bullets and stuff, they what they call them now, the what they call this stuff, let me call them the nuts, the shells, yeah, the shells, those shells now that are on the floor, on the ground, no, not floor, on the ground, the same place. After capturing, you put the camera directly on them and you are talking, and you are telling us that you have now today the imposter, their boss on Twitter, posted that they have sent over 100 Nigerian military to judgment, or whatever they call it. That means they have killed over 100, and no evidence for one. All we saw is a video. They told us about a place, Armored Tank Pass. If you look at the environment, you'll be wondering, how can Armored Tank Pass here? And then they now showed us, after they have captured the shells on the ground, the next thing you saw is they now put money on it. Now, let me ask you a question. Somebody is trying to flee. Are you saying the person put his hand in his pocket and just remove money and throw it on the ground and started running? Why is he putting hand in his pocket and throwing money away? And how come the monies are just in one place, clustered on top of the shells of the bullets you're talking about? How come? The same bullets you first captured with your camera, And then later, the same location, the same vicinity, you now put money on it, and then you capture it. Then later, the same vicinity, you now spread some ink somewhere around and said, look at their blood, look at their blood. Is that, what does that mean? Is that what an army does? If you have proof of something, you show it. And yet, you guys are gullible. You keep listening to bullshit. You keep listening to bullshit. Let me finish the video, and I'm going to play those videos to you so you can see. Did we tell you we have formed it? It is not yet formed. ESN was being established, and there was a need to boost the strength of ESN to the point that will naturally birth the army. Which means, what Mazi is saying here is that the ESN, the army is not going to just come anyhow, because it cannot be formed anyhow. All you need to do is to strengthen ESN to the point where naturally it births the army. That's what it is. That is the formula. That is the strategy. That is what it entails. That is what it is. So it is not about just bringing up an army. It's about moving from one step of your security to another. Every security architecture or plan or structure is intact and fine-tuned to close every or breach every gap that will cause any form of destruction to the whole narrative or to the target. Which means, before you talk about the army, you must make sure that the ESN has been well established. It is when ESN has breached the gap to a point where the necessity, the need for the army shows up. And at that time, you would have prepared these people for that task. And then suddenly, the army falls in place. And then naturally. But now what happens is this. They destroyed the first one. They destroyed the ESN itself. Welcome, sir. They destroyed the ESN themselves. They destroyed that one. And then, after destroying it, they now want to, how can you move from 2 without fixing 1? You fix 1 before you go on 2. So which means before you count 2, you count 1 in line or in the sequence or in the sequence of arrangement, in the sequence of a constructive procedure. You first fix 1 before you go on the other. So before you talk about the army, you first talk about ESN. How well is ESN established? The ESN that had been left was in disarray. How have you been able to fix it? How have you been able to put it together? How have you been able to set it aright? And how have you been able to establish it so that it naturally leads you into the next level? Why do you want to jump queue? Why? What are you in a hurry for? You destabilize the first one, ESN, and you want to go and jump queue and get the other one. That means you have a motive. There's a reason. There's an ulterior motive somewhere. Biafrans, good to have you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining. Good to have you. That means there is something about your action that is suspicious. There's something about your action that is suspicious. And this leads me to the issue of the $9 million that was used to, the narrative of the $9 million that Chinasa was talking about. Now, he talked about $9 million, right? And from what he said, he named some of them, including Simon, to be part of the sharing formula, right? And then he gives details of his own, thank you so much, my brother. God bless you too. He gives details of, how that 9 million was shared among some people that he didn't want to mention their names, and which I say is an error. Because that is why I said we need a fact-finding committee. You don't just come and begin to say some things online. He has all this information. The only place that information can be useful and valuable is when we have a team of professionals under a fact-finding committee that will look into this whole thing And when they look into this whole thing, they would look at the evidences, the exhibits, and all of that, and then be able to bring the facts. And those who are responsible will be named. Those who are involved will be named. Those who took part, those who were involved in the sharing formula will be named. Those who took part and those who, after the whole thing, afterthought betrayal, will be named. That is the essence of the committee. So coming online to tell us about a $9 million deal and how it was shared, and you call the names of some people, it simply means that you have information, but it doesn't mean that your information is total. You cannot come online and give us an information that is as weighty as the kidnap and extraordinary rendition of the leader of a nation, and you just conclude that that is the whole narrative and we should just take it. No, we are professionals. We are not children. We are more professional than that. The Biafra nation is bigger than that. It is a nation. For God's sake, it is not just one company of one man business. It is a nation. So if you have such kind of information, Chinans and Woru, I'm talking to Chinans and Woru now. If you have such kind of information about this kind of criminality that took place against Mazi and Kanu, and you have information of 9 million, then the right thing to do is to work with the other people on the level of the DOS to establish. Now listen, that fact-finding committee would not be put together or brought together. The people will not be appointed by the DOS. Remember, they will be appointed by independent Biafrans. They will be brought together, maybe 15 man. 5 of those 15 man will be people who are not even Biafrans. And then they will come together. They will look at your evidence, Chinans and Wonru, all the things you say you have as evidence. They will look at the evidence of Nnamdi. They will look at the evidence of Chike Doziem. They will look at the evidences of Kanunta. They look at the evidence of Neka, or whatever the name of the secretary is. They look at all these evidences and the ones we also can offer. Because I too have my evidence based on the things that I've seen, based on the activities going on. I'll give my own line. Everybody will give their own line. And then the fact-finding committee will put everything together and then now narrate it. Yes, according to, yes, he said Simon is also part of it and Simon knows and all of that. Now, the reason why I know that Simon is also a suspect is that after Chinansa published that broadcast, the next thing Simon did was to make a tweet that indicted him. And I'm going to read that tweet again. I read it 2 days ago. I'm going to read it again. Because these things are very serious matters, but we are taking it for granted. And it pains me that the Biafrans are just allowing themselves to become so gullible. And that's why Mazi Kanu lamented. He lamented. He was pained. He is pained. He is so sad about what is happening to our people and how they reason. So sad. But anyways, let's look at it. Now let's look at what Simon posted. He said, and that was 3 days ago, on the 23rd of October, after the day after Chinansa has done all of that stuff. Simon said, those criminals who sold MNK are struggling to move the last payment. Now, how did he get this information? But he will tell you he has men that reveal things to him. Now, let's just assume now that he has men that reveal those things to him. He has an intel and all of that. How come he has men who know about these things that happen to Mazi and Kanu? How do those men know about those details if they are not part of the sharing team? Because it is only within the sharing team that this kind of criminality can be hidden and kept. That means anybody who is part of knowing how they are sharing and knows about the details is also part of that team sharing from it. So if Simon is claiming that he knows somebody who is giving him information, it means that he is also part of the criminality as much as that person who is giving him the information is. That means that he is getting his own money from that person who is giving him the information. Now he claimed that he doesn't understand the details here, because if I come to tell you that the money is being moved and they are going to get their last share, then it means that I am connected to a particular information, a line of information, which gives me such kinds of effrontery to make such kinds of statements. And if I'm connected, how come? If, for instance, let's just assume now that maybe the person is just giving information. Did he ask the person, how come you know all of this? How come you know all of this? How come you know that they are sharing money? How come you know who is sharing the money? And how come you know who is going to move, who is moving money, and which one is the last batch of the money? How come? Now, you see, when people want to expose themselves, they type some stuff thinking they want to brag and show that they are very updated, and then they know what they are very knowledgeable and all of that. But he doesn't know he was exposing himself by this particular post. That's why I screenshotted it and kept it. He said, because he has blocked me on Twitter, so he doesn't know I am also accessing him on Twitter. I can access him from any account that I want. Anybody could access and get from me. I can also access him from any account. But I don't have fake accounts anyways, so which means that I can always get it from anywhere. That's what it is. Now see, those criminals who sold MNK are struggling to move the last payment. How does he know it's the last payment? Who gave him the information? The person who gave him the information. How did that person know that is the last payment, which means the person is involved? How did you know? How does he know? Which means he is also involved. Because you cannot know that it's the last payment without being part of the sharing formula. So that means what Chinasa said is also correct in that line, because Chinasa said is also part of the sharing formula. He now confirms it here and says that they are moving the last pay. The money will be paid to the treasurer's Ejiofor. How does he know? How does he know? Is he part of it? He must be part of it to know this. If he has someone who is giving the information, that person must be part of the deal to know this, which means if Simon is connected to somebody who is part of this deal, and all this while he has kept quiet, it simply means that he's also gaining it from it. He's also a part of it, because you can't have the leader of 120 million people all over the nations of the world kidnapped like a common criminal, tortured like a common criminal, extraordinarily renditioned and kept in a confinement for 2 years plus. 2 years, 4 months plus, and you have information about sharing of money on what has happened to him and sharing of money based on his kidnap and his predicament, and you keep quiet and you waited for Chinasa to come to make a broadcast, and then you begin to talk about the sharing formula because Chinasa called your name and exposed you, so you have to now tell them where the money is going, trying to give us an impression you're not part of the sharing formula. It's only them and you know how they are sharing it. How did you know? He will claim now that he has a mirror. Fake. Nonsense, lies. That's what the next thing will tell you. And you know, like a particular statement he made today. He said, "Go and tell the British Commission, the High Commissioner in Nigeria, that we are seeing him in a mirror." Nonsense talk. Nonsense talk. He said, "Now listen. He will collect the money using a third party. How do you know? How?" And Biafrans are keeping quiet, watching, looking like somebody are hailing this kind of text. They are screaming, hailing. PM, wow. They can't put 1 and 1 together to understand how 2 came about. People are not asking questions. People just want to follow in these kinds of things. When you know that when it comes to things that have a high spiritual significance, as the issue of Biafra, just like the issue of Christianity, when Christ came to die for the lives of people, because of the level of the spirituality involved, there is always a high chances of compromise. That is why somebody like Judas could go and betray. That is why somebody like the people could turn against him. The people he has been healing and conduct in their presence, doing so many miracles. The same people were saying crucify him, and they said, what is the reason? They don't have a reason. They said he's God, so crucify him. You see, the level of spiritual relevance of Biafra makes you understand that anybody is a suspect now, but they will keep exposing themselves because the spirit always make them expose themselves. Now, see what he said here. He will collect the money using a third party. We have busted them. How? Last year, he gave details of how Mazi Nnamdi was kidnapped and all of that, and what now he's now telling us how the money is being shared. So how do you have this information? And people are not asking questions. Is it that you guys are is that how much you hate Mazi Nnamdi, or you have relegated him to the background and forgotten him so much that you don't care about whatever happens anymore? You don't care? Every moment they are duping you, they are misleading you, they are misdirecting you. They bring out something, they call it army. You join, you follow them, you hail them, you give them money. They bring out something, they tell you they have busted this one. You come and follow them, and you don't ask questions. You bust who? The criminal in Kuwait is positioning the mind of their foolish followers after Joffa told him to announce $9 million. Now you see, now he's trying to now he's telling us now that the money is more than 9 million, but he didn't know how to put the statement there. He said they are positioning the mind to announce 9 million. Why are they announcing 9 million? Why? Why do they have to announce any money at all? So you now tell us how much it is. You tell us how much it is, because now you are indirectly telling us that no, maybe they are giving you lesser than what you are supposed to get, based on the full amount, and maybe they have lied to you that with the money they got is 9 million, and you don't believe them. So the money they gave you is less, and you believe that the money is higher from what you have heard from your source, maybe from the zoo nation, maybe from Gozora Boys and their crew, of how much was given, and the money is more than 9 million, but they are putting it at 9 million so that they will give you one particular money that is less, and you want to get more, and you feel that they are cheating you. So indirectly now you are putting it forward here now that the money is more than 9 million. That means the share they give to you is less. You're supposed to get more. That's what it means. Because oh my God, if I take up this kind of case with other professionals together, you will see what will come out of this. You will see how we're going to expose criminality out, and you will be shocked at the people who will be indicted in this matter. That is why I keep crying. We need a fact-finding committee. Chinasa Worenko, if you know you are not involved in this criminality, but the way things are, you will not be able to do it because you are involved. But if you know you are not involved and you claim you are not involved, let's set up a fact-finding committee. Let's come together. Let's appoint people, independent people. You go, no, we have to analyze this thing now. That's the truth. Let's appoint people and let's look at it. Because if he is saying that the money is more than 9 million, because from what he's texting, he's saying the money is more than 9 million. So which means it's either they are giving him a lesser share, claiming the money is 9 million, and he knows the money is more than 9 million. So he's trying to give the impression here that he knows it's more than 9 million. He has gotten the fact of the actual amount. That's why he's now coming. Look at the text message again, only tells you that he's guilty. It's a guilty conscience text message. Listen to it. Those criminals who sold them MK are struggling to move the last payment. Is that the issue in hand? That's not the issue in hand. The guy is saying that so amount was collected, and you are part of the sharing formula. And then you come and say they are trying to move. All this while they are trying to move. You never said it. Why did you wait for China and Sawori to come all out? Because you wanted to make it look like you are a very smart person getting every information, so that you will distract the people you are leading and make them feel that whatever China is doing, you already know what is happening. Why? Let's finish this video of Mazi Nnamdi first, then I'll continue on this narrative. Mm. Mm. Now, that is it. He has given us that stuff now and all of that. Now, look, let's continue with this because I just have to conclude on that so that I can bring the next video. Now, let's listen to this. I don't know what to call them because sometimes I just shake my head when I look at them. Let's listen to this one. Constituting nuisance here. Now, I want you guys to watch this and listen to them. I would not want to, but I have to just show them on screen. So
liberation army no dey play. This is Baron the Gentle
They are talking about Armored Tanker. Does it make sense to you? Just look at this. Just look at this nonsense. Just look at it. Just look at it. Now you see it. The purpose of this video is to convince those who are outside to bring more money. to support their criminal boss. The whole essence of this video is just to convey the message that they are working. So all they did is pick up shells of all those nonsense they are doing in the bush, where they say they are exercising and doing all those stuff that Simon will show you that they are busy, doing all of that. So they use some of those bullets, that they are giving money to get, and then they now pack. They tell them to keep all those shells, keep them, because they will have to use them to convince people that they are working and that they are being attacked. Please, I want to confirm. You can't hear me? Please let me someone else confirm. Yeah, Missy says she can't hear me. Please, someone else confirm. Let me know if you can hear me, or maybe it's her device that is not working. Please, can someone confirm if you can hear me or not? Please, who else can confirm? Ego, are you there? Can you confirm? Can you confirm, please? Please, can you confirm if you can hear me? Please, I need a confirmation that you can hear me. I think I have, can someone else confirm? It's getting dark here. I need to put on the light. Can someone confirm? I want to be sure that you can hear me. Okay. So now look at it. The whole essence of this video is to convince those who are outside, whom they think have the dollars, to bring more money. That is the whole essence. Now, if you listen to the narrative, after they have talked about they talked about armor tanker. They never showed evidence. Their video, their cameras never captured the armor tank of the zoo. They said they want to take armor tanks and all of that. Thank you so much. Thanks for confirming. They never talked about the armor tanks and all of that. But they are only showing you shells. Now, these shells are some of the shells, or mostly the shells that they utilize during the times when they are practicing. That Simon would always come and show online, and tell you, look at them practicing and all of that. They tell them to keep the shells because they would need to use these shells for propaganda. So all they need to do is keep the shells, and that is what you will see in other videos. The same shells, they put them somewhere and they tell you that an armor tank passed here and they did this, they did that. Now they put the shells together and they video this shell, and they are talking about armor tanks. We never saw any armor tank. They never showed evidence of the armor tanks and all of that. They never showed anything. They never showed whether they killed 100 personnel, according to what Simon said, that they have killed 100 personnel of the contraption military personnel. They have killed 100 of their personnel. They never showed any evidence. They only showed you ground. They only showed you blood. They only showed you notes. So the person just put his hand in his pocket and brought out the money and threw it at that place and ran away. Why would somebody who is normal just put hand in his pocket, and what he could do is just put his hand in his pocket and throw? Because the way the money is positioned, you will know that it was just thrown away at a particular place. Somebody just spread it at a particular place. When you see money, somebody who is fleeing and money gets off and is really fleeing, especially in the situation of a military chase or something, or somebody who's running from a bullet, you would understand, you will see how it is, and you will understand the terrain, how it is. Watch that video. The capturing and everything was opaque, not to reveal some things to you. They told you also that a particular military armor tank came over to these places and they killed all of them and all of that. They now showed you a trouser on the floor. The person is not on the trouser. Nobody's on the trouser. Nobody's in the trouser, not on in the trouser. Nobody. They just showed you the trouser and stained with ink that they call blood or something. They just, there's a particular color that looks like blood that you can use. They use in movies and all of that to they spread it, and you think that it's truly blood and all of that. Very nonsensical. Now listen, this person is speaking here, and the person is telling you all those people are abroad. Come and see. Now the person now begins to advertise. Supports this, support that. The purpose of this video and these shells is for their propaganda and to get you to believe in what they are doing, and then you bring more money. Because they know that when they keep making all this noise, they are making money. When they are making money, someone is making more money, because they will help someone make money for them to make money. When he gets money, he gives them, maybe out of all the monies he gets, maybe 10% goes to them. 20% goes to weapons. The whooping 70% goes to him, his Azuka, his team, and all of that. Forget all this propaganda of Azuka has been sacked, Azuka is not. They would not. They are still intact. But for the purpose of trying to, now listen, I want to tell you guys, You see, these kinds of criminality that is going on, we have to understand this level of criminality. The women, when they steal, when a particular group steals, they will now fall out. Another group will come steal. Now, Azuka has stolen, and they know that for the only calculation here is to tell Azuka to step down, and then they will make it look like she was sacked, and then they will now make it look like, hey, she, and they will not tell you the reason, but she has to go away, and she will just go to her platform and begin to talk normal and begin to, make it look like, hey, we are still intact. Well, did I tell you we have any problems? And all this nonsense stuff. Because they are still in the sharing design. The sharing formula is still intact. The husband's account is still being used. Her account in Nigeria is still being used. The whole thing is still centered around them. But they need to remove her from the way because they saw that she was becoming a bad business. Because her name was everywhere, that the money was going into her account. So they feel that when they come to tell you that she has been sacked, you would all believe that she's no more in charge of the funds. You think Azuka will give up that for nothing? Just like that? She will change the account just like that? No, she won't do that. So let me tell you guys, those of you who is saying that Azuka is sacked and all of that, they are still doing their business. She's only out of the equation to deceive you guys to believe more in what they're doing so that you keep bringing the funds. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, unless you're not smart to understand this. Now listen to the guy. After they have displayed and bragged and said so many things, look at what they now say.
Fondi our brothers in outside country. Ghana we here. Kanu fi whom one no Biafra liberation army the first. Today, Zoo have come today and they have died. They have died in numbers. Today
they have died in numbers. Where is the evidence? Nothing. They are just showing you shells. So they went to the bush to now you should understand that these shells are actually the shells for practice in their exercises and all those noises they're making in the bush. They'll stay in one place and as they are shooting all those stuff, the shells fall at that place. So they pick them. When they shoot all those stuff, waste the bullets, they pick the shells. If they were in active service in the bushes, they won't see all these shells. Because in active service, you are conscious of what is happening around you. You are taking off as you're hiding. When you make a shot, you are taking off and taking cover. You are not even conscious of getting shells like this. These shells were taken consciously in a conscious environment. That is why they are able to gather shells like this. That's why they can able to now. But look at what they are saying. They are talking to morons. That's what they believe. Listen.
Today is 25th of October, 2023. This is Hiala, St. Mary's. Macadamia. You know here. Support one of
Now look at the slippers of those who are around there. He is alone, one of them or two of them holding gun and wearing their stuff. Now others there are wearing slippers. They're in an environment where they say they dealt with the zoo, which means that place is vulnerable. They can be attacked at any time, which is the normal way. But they are standing with slippers. And if you look at that, you know that those who are standing there are just maybe some of the people in the community that just came together. They have told them to go and pick these things and brought together. And they are just standing there to shoot the video. And so they don't want to show them. But if you look at their legs, you know that these people are not combat people. They are just people who are just trying to make believe and send an information to you. Now listen.
BIAFRA, support on Mazi Simon Epa. Can we send there once and for all to the high Baron and collect to go to this is Baron the Gentle Lion. Who not believe God?
Did you see that child putting on? Did you see a child there with slippers? Did you see? Let me take it back again so that you can see that child. All those morons who don't have sense.
Support one of BIAFRA, support on Mazi Simon Epa. Can we send there once and for all to the
That is the purpose of the video. For money, fundraising.
This is Baron.
Now see this boy, this little boy. This should be a boy of 8 to 10 years old. Look at his slippers there. Look at his slippers. What is a boy of 8 to 10 years? They say they are in the bush where they are doing their stuff. 8 to 10 years old boy putting on slippers. Look at the leg there. They are just, I mean, I don't know if, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never did this kind of nonsense. He doesn't even take this kind of nonsense. He cannot even showcase this kind of nonsense in the first place. He can, but the person who calls himself prime minister says he's a professional military person. He showcased this thing. And you think that these people are normal? You think so? Look at this boy's feet. That's an 87 years old to 10 years old boy putting on slippers, just standing. Nothing happened. The boy is just there. He's not threatened. The boy is not threatened. That environment is not threatened. it's just a normal community. They just stand somewhere, put the stuff on the ground, and snap and make some noise, make you feel good. That's what is happening there. Let me put on my lights. Let me put on this stuff first so that you can. Let me take it from top again so you can watch. Then I go put on the light.
Biafra Liberation Army, no they play. This is Baron the Gentle Lion. Fondi our brothers in outside country. Ghana we here. Kunu fi human one no Biafra Liberation Army na first. Today, Zoo have come today and they have died. They have died in numbers. Today is 25th of October, 2023. This is here, St. Mary's. Makandemia. You know here. Support one Biafra. Support one Mazi Simon Epa. Can we send there once and for all? Today, I better collect to go with
You hear?
This is Baron the Gentle Lion. Who no believe, go believe. Biafra must come. Now, sure.
Look at the legs of the. Look at a woman. I think this one is a woman with a bucket. Look at it, a woman, a young lady also. One of these girls, time wrapper. Look at the wrapper. Look at the green slippers. Look at the just moving. They're just there standing. Just look at it. Just look at it.
If you don't believe, we will help you believe.
They're talking to morons. If you don't believe, we will help you believe.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that he have trained soldiers that will defend Biafra land.
Did you hear the argument? That's why I played this stuff. Now he said, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said they have trained soldiers. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never said so. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said the day I will release the army, and he said it will be 200 million, which means that the number has been designed to be, and then 1 million reserve. And he said the day I'm going to release that. He didn't say you have trained them to come and do anything. Listen to the argument. That's how they deceive. They speak stupidly. Listen.
Today we are here to defend Biafra land. Who say Biafra no go come must collect? We defend Biafra land. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say that.
Listen.
Our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say that he have trained soldiers that will defend Biafra land. Today we are here to defend Biafra land.
So he indirectly he's saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he's going to reveal. He's going to launch that army that he is going to bring out. This guy is now trying to tell us that the army is already out without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu launching it. And that army is now defending Biafra land. Is this how you defend Biafra land? Even ESN does not do this childish thing when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here. ESN cannot do this kind of childish things. ESN cannot do this kinds of childish things. So childish and shameful, because it's like, you know, it makes me feel like, oh wow, people just I don't know what the world is thinking. That's why they are not even our story is not even mentioned at all, day to day, month to month, nothing in the world, because we are constituting nuisance, caricature, this childishness. Where do you see the Israel military, or you see you know, even Togo militaries want to showcase something, for instance, and you see even Cameroon, Ambazonia, you now see children wearing slippers and all of that, standing there, and they are showcasing all of this stuff. And where do you see this caricature happen? Where? Let's play on.
Who say Biafra no go come must collect woto promise? You know the joke, eh? Igwe hanye kwetere gi umi Igbo support one Biafra. Ebe obele no. You only na-eme nwanne ọ bụ 1 naira na support Biafra. Na support Simon Ekpa. Ebe obele ha no.
Biafra enwegara anya.
Ịnafia fondi Nigeria no na ami. Fondi Nigeria no na ami. Ị na-abịakwa nwere hope na ọmụnwa bụ nwanne gị nwoke, ụbara ndị Biafra ga-agba gị woto. Ịnafia na akọkọ ngwongwo.
Ihe na-ebiga ndị Zundu abụ ụmụnne ọla ha. Ọnwụ egbuola ọna.
Do you see that? Do you see that? That's how stupid the people are. Now, I'll play other videos so that you can see the stupidity of these people. Now, I'm going to play a place where they said they had military. They'll show you blood. Let me just play them one after the other so you guys can see. I just play them, you know, I don't like playing this kind of nonsense, but I would just want to play them so that you guys can see all of this bullshit. Listen.
This is their blood.
This is their blood.
Then die woto. Angru go Chineka kpọrọ m ahụ. Chineka kpọrọ m ahụ.
See how they position camera just directly on the ground. They don't want to make it escape. They don't want the image to. They don't want to show the environment the way it is. They are just showing strictly on that. If I hold a camera to showcase you something, I would make it in a way that if I have proofs, if I really have this strong evidence. Now look at the ground here. Observe this ground very well. You discover that it is the same ground, the same area that money was put, the same area the bullet was put differently, the same area the bullet was put, and the shells were put, and then the monies were spread on it. Just watch.
Their blood everywhere. Their blood everywhere. They die woto. This is their blood. Their blood. Obrande Zoo. Today being 25th of December, October.
The same 25th.
Both are for Wednesday. So
the same 25th. The same 25th, right? Now watch this one again.
See, bro, the spy.
See the shells?
Their blood. Their useless blood. Oh, what happened to what is here?
See the way they spread the shells at a particular place? Now you see the way the shells are spread at a particular place. I don't know why it's not playing again. Let me try it again. Please, can you hear me? I don't know if the stuff is freezing. If the stuff is freezing, I don't know why it's not playing. Now, this is what they showed you. This is what they told you. And that is what, am I coming out? Please, let me know if you can hear me. Please, let me know if you can hear me. I should be rounding off now because I'm not through with the 9 million issue, $9 million stuff. Okay, you can hear me. All right, thank you. Now let me play it again, see if it will work. Okay, it's not working. Let me see if I can take it back. See whether it will work. Now watch this. Watch the environment again. The same environment with that same. You see the same environment, the same grass. So you see it. You see it. All right. Now we go on the next. This is where maybe the zoo has come to, deal with them and all of that. That's where they took that vehicle, that someone said nobody was around, nothing was happening. That they just came and took vehicles. They took the vehicle. That's what they said. Now watch this again.
ngwongwo echedosu igwe butu ụzọ Nnamdi ndị ara ndị
the same place where that stuff, those bullets were put, those shells were put, bullet shells. They have spread money on it now, and they are now trying to make you understand, believe that they left their monies and ran away.
Believe.
Now see, what is he showing you there now? What is he showing you there? He's talking about him. What is he showing you there?
Now,
this way, the way you see this money, does it show you like someone who is fleeing and just threw money this way? And why would any military person come into battle in the first place with money like this in his pocket? What does he need the money for? 2, the way military uniform is, do you think somebody would just, the monies would just, or is he holding the money in the hand, trying to settle themselves? What is he doing with money in his hands? Because if the money is in his pocket, the money cannot fall this way and spread this way. They put it there. And look at how they is now. So you see, He's trying to give an impression. Hope paid them, and then they brought the money to the camp where they came to fight them. Does it make sense to you?
Hey, yo, ego hope kwuru ha. If they play the show, you have to ego hope kwuru na ya we go.
See it. He is now spreading the money. He wants to spread it further.
Ya uche ego. Ya we go. Hope kwuru ha. He chefuze the money.
So they came to the bush to share the money. Now, these are useless videos. I just want to play them for you guys to see how useless these people are. I just wanted to play these things for you guys to see how useless these people are. Now, the issue, because our main topic today is the issue of the 9 million. And now Simon himself has shot himself in the foot by what he has posted here. He said these criminals who sold MNK are struggling to move the last payment. The money will be paid to the treacherous Ejiofor. He will collect the money using a third party. We have posted them. The criminal in Kuwait is positioning the minds of the foolish followers after Ejiofor told him to announce 9 million. How? Positioning their minds for what? They are trying to position his own mind to believe that the money is 9 million because the share they have given him is around that 9 million mark they have told him before. So it is not positioning our minds because we don't have a share in the money. How can they be positioning our minds or position the minds of the people or any other person? Because he says they're positioning the minds of the foolish followers. He's talking about everybody anyways. That is anybody who is not supporting him. That's what he means here. And if he's trying to position the minds of the people, the people, or let's just say, let's go by what he's saying now, by his followers. Are his followers going to receive their own share? No. Are his followers part of shares? No. Are his followers going to receive any money from it? No. So how is he trying to position the minds of his followers by just telling them 9 million? It doesn't make sense. He's only going to try to position the minds of those who also will receive share from it to believe that the money is 9 million, so that when they, based on the share they have received, they will know that it is not beyond that 9 million. Maybe they have had an argument or have had arguments. That's what it means. So he says, look at it. Very stupid post. That's why I said you just implicate yourself. He just implicated himself, out of foolishness. One will implicate themselves. Look at the criminal in Kuwait is positioning the mind of their foolish followers after Ejiofor told him to announce $9 million. Why is it? How is he trying to, position their mind? Because they are not part of the share. They are not part of the sharing. They would only position people's minds who are part of the sharing to believe the amount. So what kind of argument is that? If not that you are a criminal. Look at it. They please add the 9 million to over $20 billion lost to sit at home and tell if the kidnap is not expensive. Can you imagine? They please add. It doesn't make sense here. Okay, let's just assume now he's trying to say 20 billion has been lost over, based on the sit at home. The sit at home is not your product. It's the product of the people. You are not the one who initiated the sit at home. The people decided to sit at home, and you cashed into what the people believe in. And because you always want to utilize what the people believe in to cheat them, and so you want to claim the glory for the sit at home the people have been following since all this while every Monday. It's not yours. So now he's trying to say that the 9 million to the 20 billion that have been lost and all of that, and tell if the kidnap is not expensive. It doesn't make sense because I don't know, the statement there doesn't make sense. After the Finland Convention, how does Finland Convention come into this? Who is threatened by? How can you just do a convention, a party, and you say people are threatened? The same way also he said that because of the convention, Lagos State closed Malaba International. It doesn't. You see, when people are just gullible, they keep saying so many things. Now, our attention has been drawn to a report from the agent of Nigeria State, the Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Velox was. Okay, I've read this before to you. Now, let's go to the one of, the next one. The new Lord Lugard and British Commissioner to Islamic Nigeria, Richard Montgomery. Okay, CMG has had meetings with their partners in killing the Northern Caliphate. He assured that Britain will support them with everything they need to make sure Nigeria didn't break up for their own interest. This is not the first time they have been saying it. They have been saying all of this while. So what is the special announcement? Because you just want to distract people. So he had to make this one today, just to make people feel like he's talking, not for the interest of the Biafra or other indigenous people. Of course, everybody knows that it is not for the interest of Biafra and the indigenous people. So talking about saying it now does not make sense because we all know that Britain is never working for our interest. He said, I am promising Richard that He will flee Nigeria in due time, just to brag. The same way, if he's going to flee Nigeria, do you need to announce it? You do what you're going to do to make him flee. Now, why announce it here? But because he had to distract the people and keep making them hail him, and that's all the glory that he wants to achieve from this. In due time, since he has promised to fund another genocide, they have been doing that. They have been funding it even before now, and you also have been helping them fund it because you have been fronting criminals, saying that they are armies and the military keeps coming in to kill our people. So you have been helping them fund it. So you're part of the game too with them. And and you can never win this war, and you never use British weapon to continue to intimidate Biafra into subjugation. You exit EU without weapons. Simon is leading Biafra liberation from Finland. Now, this is where my concern is. Simon is leading Biafra liberation, and Mazi Nnamdi said he will lead. He will come in and he's going to lead from the front. So, what are you saying? Are you saying now that you have now taken Mazi Nnamdi's position? Of course, that's what you're trying to make us understand. By saying that you have set up the army, it simply means you're telling Mazi Nnamdi, go away. I have taken over. I am now the commander-in-chief. I have set the army. And now you're saying you're going to lead. That means it is no more Mazi Nnamdi who is leading, who's going to lead the army. It is now you. And that means so. This is a clear-cut evidence of treason. Clear-cut evidence of treason. This is why I want to point out that's the place I want to really make you see. That's the place I want you guys to really see. That point. That is the place that is it. Look at it. Leading from Finland and all of that. See, I'll step on my foot on all our enemies and march to, and all of that. That is a clear evidence that you are exuding a position that is not yours. He said he's going to lead from the front. You now come on to say that you are the one who's going to lead. So is this not an evidence? Is this not a clear evidence? Is this not a clear evidence of what we're talking about? And when we are showing you people these things, people don't understand. The dragon, look at another lies. The Biafra Navy, the Dragon Fighter Marine has neutralized 11 Cameroonian troops of the Rapid De-Intervention Battalion after they launched a retaliatory attack on Dragon Fighter Marine, Akasi Peninsula on Tuesday, killing 2 of the Biafra Navy. Look at now. The purpose of this is just to make it look like every time we are saying we are winning. So this time around, let's mention that at least two of our men became victims and all of that, because the other time it was mentioned that over 30 of the people were killed, and some went with gunshot wounds and all of that. So you want to make it look like, oh, let's balance it. All this while we have been talking about we're winning, we're doing them, we're doing all of that. But now let's just make it look like, of course, we lost 2 here, so that the people will also believe us. Okay, so we're also losing men. So it won't always be that every time we're saying nothing happened to our men, but something is always happening to them. So you see the kind of stupid but technical manipulation going on here, and the people still are believing this nonsense. And we lost 2 gallant men to these Cameroonian terrorists, but they lost 11. So you see now where he's talking about Marine, the Navy, where are his ships? Have you seen one before? Have you ever? He has not even finished with the sharing of GPMG and all of that from one camp to the other. He's talking about Marine or Navy, just to give an impression, because people have been talking about. I remember somebody was saying one time, on his stuff, somebody's mentioned and said, "Where is the Navy? We need the Navy and the Air Force." Now he wants to give an impression that he has a Navy. Have you ever seen any of them before? Have you ever seen one of them before? Have you? Now let me read the last one before I end this. Breaking information reaching us from the Nigeria terrorists, blah 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 camp can confirm that from the result of yesterday, over 100 of the terrorists army were sent to hell by Biafra Liberation Army in the course of the defense of Biafra land. Where's the evidence? No one. No evidence. Nothing. And yet we have it will always be like that. Once you make a claim, you show evidences. Evidences are the reasons. You don't just make a claim. You can't be talking to people who are smart and intelligent, and you are trying to claim something, and you are not showing evidences. You can't just call that. You bring an evidence that you have spent. You say you have this. You bring an evidence. I'm going to end this here. so that our people will understand. By the time we'll come up, maybe tomorrow next, we're going to speak more on this, and I'm going to elaborate more on this in linking it to the issue of the 9 million and talk further on this, because this 9 million thing is becoming very childish and all of that, and we need to do something very, very quickly in this regard so that our people will understand that what we are doing is very, very fundamental. We're not just children, we're not just babies, we're not just fools, and all of that. Always bragging with no impact, only filling his pocket and growing fat from the fraudulent fundraising. I think they're preparing for another Saturday stuff. That's why they brought this one. They made this one on the 25th. That is yesterday. That's why they made those videos yesterday, so that people will prepare for Saturday. That was the purpose of this. So that people will prepare for Saturday. That's the essence. So that people will prepare for Saturday. There's another fundraising coming on Saturday, so people have to prepare for them. And so they have to do that. But you people have to be wise. Those who should be wise should be wise. Let he that has ears hear what the Spirit says. If you have ears, you hear. If you don't have ears, you allow yourself to be manipulated and deceived. That's your business. We are here to preach. All we do is we preach the gospel and the narrative of truth. That's what we have come to do. We're not here because we want to, if we can't beat them, we join them. We don't do all this nonsense. We go by tactical knowledge and wisdom, and we go for truth. We don't go by majority and where everybody feels we follow. No, we go by truth, because that is the essence of what we do. Thank you so much, Ego. I want to appreciate you guys for joining, and please, when you watch this, as you watch, you share on all your social media platforms. Let the people join you to be part of it. You must be part of sharing the truth and spreading the gospel of truth, and that's the essence of what we do. And I want to appreciate you guys for being part of it. I say thank you as always, and for being part of what we're doing, and at the same time, and for always standing on the path of truth to make sure that the right thing is done, and at the same time also making sure that you support Mazi, and I keep praying for him. It's going to come out very soon. It's going to come out soon, and of course when he comes out, we would have a better perspective to what we're doing, and then you that cannot understand now, you will understand better. Because some of you, no matter what we say, you can never understand. No matter what we say, you will just be on that line of confusion. And in the midst of your confusion, you prefer to keep supporting what you're supporting, because you want to be, at least you want to feel happy that you are still thinking of Biafra. Because like someone was saying to me, and that person I've said it several times, and some other people too that you hear talk, they said if not for Simon, maybe the nobody would have been hearing of Biafra anymore. And I said, what kind of talk is that? We all gave him support, because we all streamlined our support to his side. We speak of it. Several people have been speaking of it, and several people are ready to take action. But because he is already in front, everybody sat back and allowed him to push on. That doesn't mean that if he was not there, things would not have been happening. If he wasn't there, I tell you, if the right people have been there, the right people like us who are truly standing on the path of truth, we would have gone a lot far. We would have gone very far with this thing. All this nonsense will not be happening. We would have gone very far. But God knows what he's doing, and God is the one who has this mandate. So he would always direct it, and nothing would go bad, because he's always directing it. You are greatly appreciated for trying to open the eyes of all the gullible zombies. Keep hammering on the rock. It will finally bust open. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you for that appreciation note. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's encouraging. Yes, I'll keep hammering it and hitting on the rock, because the water must gush out, and the people have to drink because they are thirsty, and they're thirsting, and they are thirsty also, and so we keep doing it. And of course, I also want to appreciate you and other comrades who are on the path of truth, and who would always come here to continue to teach the people and make them understand what the truth represents. Like this video, share it on all your social media platforms. Share on all your social media platforms, and let it trend in your corner or from your corner, because it is important, that people get this truth. I want to appreciate you so much. God bless you, very good. All of you standing on the path of truth. For the e-frogs, we hope that one of these days your eyes will open, and you'll begin to look at the truth, and you begin to do the right thing, and you begin to follow the right path. Very, very important for us, because that's what we're praying will happen, and you also benefit from it, because when you allow yourself to be governed by the narrative of truth, you will also benefit from it. There's nobody who stays on the path of truth that does not benefit from it, definitely you will benefit from it. So you have to understand this. Very, very important. I want to appreciate you all. Thank you all. God bless you. Very good.